Hello PTCB candidates, this is Zita Schmidt with another tutorial from PTCB Math Review. It is on pediatric doses, specifically milligrams per kilogram per day formula. There are 3 formulas you need to memorize, and they are divided into 2 groups based on the results that the formulas give. The result would be either per dose or dose per day. Per dose, the answer you get is in per dose, as in how many milligrams per dose. Dose per day is the answer you get in per day, as in how many milligrams per day. What does per dose and per day mean? Per dose is the amount you take each time you take it. For example, when you take one acetaminophen 500 milligram tablet for a headache, you are taking 1 tablet per dose, which is 500 milligrams per dose. In other words, you take and swallow 1 tablet, 1 dose, then wait 4 hours before taking another tablet, another dose. Dose per day, on the other hand, is the amount you take in a day. In other words, it is the total amount of doses you take in a day. For example, when you take 1 acetaminophen 500 milligram tablet, QID for fever, you are taking a total of 1 tablet 4 times a day. That is, 1 times 4 equals 4 tablets. 4 tablets times 500 milligrams is equal to 2,000 milligrams per day. Can you see the difference? Good. Very important. So you have the 2 groups. Per dose includes Young's rule and Clark's rule. And in the per day group, you have the milligram per kilogram per day formula. Milligram per kilogram per day. This is the easiest formula of the 3. If you can remember the name, you can remember the formula. And the name is milligram per kilogram per day. So now you know the formula. In order to solve, you need to think of it as milligrams times kilograms equals dose per day. And this is how I know how to do it. In the exam, they will ask you to use this formula, and you might have to convert pounds to kilograms. When they tell you that you need to use the milligram per kilogram per day formula, they are actually giving you the formula. It's the only time that you will actually be given a formula in the exam. So take advantage of that. So here is the practice problem. The average adult dose of ibuprofen is 400 milligrams every 6 hours, or 30 milligrams per kilogram per day for a child. The child is 30 pounds and is 18 months old. Calculate how many milligrams per day, how many milligrams per dose, and use the milligram per kilogram per day formula. Step 1. What information were you given? Average adult dose, which is 400 milligrams every 6 hours, 30 milligram per kilogram per day for a child, weight of child, which is 30 pounds, age of child, which is 18 months. What are they asking for? They're asking for dose per day, milligrams per dose, and you were told to use the milligram per kilogram per day formula. Step 1. Based on what you are looking for and that you are using the milligram per kilogram per day formula, you don't need the average adult dose, which is equal to 400 milligrams. You might need the every 6 hours portion of that to calculate the per dose. Then you also don't need the age of the child, which is 18 months. Why? Because for the milligram per kilogram per day formula, you only need 30 milligrams per kilogram per day for a child and the weight of the child, in this case 30 pounds. So every 6 hours, you will need this information to calculate the per dose value. Step 2. Convert 30 pounds to kilograms. And you need to convert because the formula milligrams per kilograms per day requires the weight to be in kilograms. So 1 kilogram is equal to 2.2 pounds. How many kilograms are there in 30 pounds? This looks like a ratio and proportion problem. So you set up your ratio and proportion. 1 kilogram over 2.2 is equal to question mark kilogram over 30 pounds. You cross multiply, therefore you get 2.2 times the question, or x, and this is equal to 1 times 30. If you solve for the question mark or for your unknown, 30 divided by 2.2 is equal to 13.636, which in this case we will round up to 13.64 kilograms. Step 3. Write the formula. Milligrams per kilograms per day. Step 4. Rewrite the formula in the manner that I am telling you to do, which is milligrams times kilograms equals dose per day. Step 5. Plug in your numbers to calculate milligrams per day. So 30 milligrams times 13.64 kilograms is equal to 409.2 milligrams per day. Step 6. You need to calculate the milligram per dose. Since the formula milligram per kilogram per day gives you the per day total amount of milligrams taken in a day, you need to do the following. So you need to know how many times per day the child is taking the medication. According to the problem, ibuprofen is taken Q6H. Q6H means every 6 hours. There are 24 hours in a day. If you divide the 24 hours in the day by 6 hours, you get 4. This means that the patient is taking it 4 times a day. Step 6 continued. Calculate the milligram per dose. If the patient is taking it 4 times a day, how many milligrams per dose is it? You have the total amount of milligrams per day, which is 409.2 milligrams, and you divide it by how many times the patient is taking it in a day. So in this case, you're dividing 409.2 divided by 4 is equal to 102.3, and this gives you the milligrams per dose. Step 7. Answer the problem. The patient is taking 102.3 milligrams per dose and 409.2 milligrams per day. Well, there you have it, my friends. Here's the milligram per kilogram per day formula, and I hope that this is helpful. If you like my video, please remember to rate it, and also I would appreciate if you subscribe to my channel to continue to receive all my tutorials that I plan on continuing to post. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to email me, and soon I will have a website where all this will be all in one place. So talk to you soon. Good luck.